Hello everybody, it is Monday the 14th of April. I want to talk again about Satan, about Lucifer, the meanings of those words, and about the devil, which I believe to be a being, a real solid being, that is not of this world, the destroyer of this world. So I want to show you this all here. First of all, when we talk about the Bible, we are being swung really from one way of looking at it to the other, one extreme to the other. There was a time now we've been told it's all spiritual. Yeah, it does not talk about solid reality. It's all in the spirit. God is spirit, and God is divided from the material. Yeah, like the earth, what we are is just a lump of clay that is completely divided from the spiritual. So spiritual's out there, we are down here. There's a complete division between the two, which is not true. It is the spiritual that creates the material. We are spiritual beings that are creating our own material reality. We are the creators of this reality. But that is what we were taught. It's all spirit. And now the pendulum is swinging the other way. Yeah? Where you have now those that say, well, it doesn't talk about spiritual at all. Yeah? It is memories, it is history, it is talking about material events that happened in this world. And that's all that is. And that's not true either. It is both. It is a knowledge of the spirit, and it is a knowledge of the material outcome that it creates. And then really, when we read those stories, we must discern what level are we talking about. Are we talking about the spirit that creates, or are we talking about the material outcome? They're both in that book. So if we talk about Satan and Lucifer, angels, we're talking about spirit. And that is, they are both part of us. They are part of the spirit within us. Angels that are part of the counsel of God, which is the I Am, which is us. Satan being the voice that speaks against. The accuser, the negative sides, negative thoughts, negative emotions, coming together, thoughts, negative thoughts, and then the emotions of fear or of anger or of sadness that tell us, again, it is a messenger, a bringer of knowledge of the possibility of a negative outcome. It should be part of our counsel. Yeah, it is something we need to consider. Lucifer is the other side. It is the idea that there are no restrictions. Everything is possible. Yeah, ask and you shall be given. Satan is a liar when he says it's not possible. Everything is possible. We can do whatever we like. We are completely free. We're set free. We can do whatever. And again, spirit creates solid reality, and you can see the solid outcome of that lunatic thinking in this world. Yeah, we can do whatever we like. We can be male or female. We can do this, that, or the other, and to hell with the consequences. Throw Satan out of your heaven. We see the outcome of that. And it's lunacy, and again, it is destructive. Either side or an imbalance inside of ourselves will create destruction. So to have self-determination, to be the judge, yeah? A judge that makes a sound judgment needs to listen to all sides of the argument, to have a completely rounded picture of the situation, to make a sound judgment. And for that, you need all the parts of yourself, of your spirit, all the angels, both the bringers of bad tidings and those that bring tidings of comfort and joy. You know, there's always more than one side to a thing, and you need to think about that. But as I said, there's a war in heaven. That's what the Bible says. Again, we're talking on the level of spirit. Inside of ourselves, we are at war with ourselves. We are trying to suppress sides, let's say the negative sides of ourselves. We've condemned them, and they're only trying to help. They're bringing a knowledge to serve life. Everything in this world is there to serve life. But we've been told they're evil, you must do away with them, and then you go into lunacy on the other side. You swing to the other side and you become a lunatic. Detached from the reality that you would see if you had the fullness of the information. So they are completely detached from reality, and now they're proclaiming reality does not exist. No, reality does exist. You are just detached from it. You no longer see it. So that is in the spirit. On speaking about the energies, the energy of thought, the energy of emotions, the information that we receive on those energies, that should lead to us having been of sound judgment. Because it should aid life. Yeah, it should aid our survival. Everything in this world does that. It is the giver of life. It is the sustainer of life. Now, if we talk about the devil, again, now I think we're coming down into the material. I think the devil, what is described as the devil, is a flesh and blood being. And what do they say? The greatest trick the devil has played on the world is to make it believe he didn't exist. Or he exists. I would say he exists. And I think we're about to meet them. If we go on as we are, we will meet them. Now, here's the thing. People talking about full disclosure, about possible paleo contact. And I think many are really too blue-eyed about the whole thing. You know, talking about all the advantages we will have from that and how great it is going to be, and we're going to be part of a greater, spacefaring family and all of that. We should really look forward to that. Now, we have different stories of paleo contact in our, in human history. Even recently, there are different stories. And I'm kind of struggling to see a good one, but E.T. was nice, And encounters of the third kind, well, although it did play havoc with those that were contacted, the outcome didn't seem to be threatening in any way. And then you have Independence Day, which is the other side of the coin, which is the arrival of a predator, and humanity fighting for its own survival. Now again, you look at the Bible, especially if you're looking at the book of the Revelation, that's Independence Day. We're looking at Independence Day, that is an attack. So, and humanity having to defend itself. Now, and I said we're looking at a predator. I said there we are looking at the devil as a real being. We're now on the level of the created. And it is a predator. And why do I think it is not of this world? Because I'm looking at the predators that are naturally in this world. And they are not like that. if you look at the predators, let's say like a lion, they usually prey on the weak, on the infirm. I mean, if the lion picks the wrong animal, one that is strong enough to defend itself, the lion will get a good clubbering. They don't always win, and they can get seriously injured themselves. So they would usually pick on the weak and the infirm, and we have learned, I think just recently, that a predator is actually good for the ecosystem. It strengthens the ecosystem. By weeding out the sick and the infirm, the lion is ensuring the overall health and strength of the herd. So again, even the predator in this world is actually there to aid life. Now, I'm talking about the level of the animal now. I'm not talking about us. We have evolved from that. We have other options. But even when we were on the level of the animal or only just above, like we were hunter-gatherers, even then we were aware, many of the natural tribes were aware of the natural balance that had to be maintained. They were aware of the life around them and that they are a part of this entire system. And they did not go out slaughtering entire herds just because they could, but they were aware of the balance that needed to be maintained. The same as a lion would not go slaughtering entire herds. They only take what they need. And again, it is to keep the overall balance and to strengthen life. Everything in this world is there to strengthen life. Once the lion has killed, the scavengers come in to clean up the rest, to prevent contagion. Again, that is to serve life. So the predator in this world is in service to life, not against it. And as I said, even when we were hunting, we were aware, most natural tribes were aware of the natural balance that needed to be kept. How did they know that? Because they were taught by this world. This world gave of its knowledge to us, and we knew it. That is the knowledge of this world. All shall live. And there is no predator in this world that would deliberately weaken its own prey, to deliberately create a weak prey in order to have it easy. Yeah, as I said, the predator will prey on that which is naturally weak, but it will not create its own weak prey. And that is what this thing does, what is coming. And in this world at the moment, they are creating a weak prey by driving us into confusion about what we are, by creating spiritual warfare within ourselves, where we are at war, spiritual war within ourselves, with ourselves, where we are at war with each other. And all of that is done to weaken us. Deliberately done to weaken us, so that when the predator comes, we will not have the strength to stand up against it. And again, the predator will not do this for the goodness of the entire world or of the entire ecosystem, but for themselves. Again, that is not a thought that is in this world. That is not naturally in this world. It's an alien thought. There are those now in this world, human beings, that are acting according to we weaken others in order to have dominion over them. They are the teachers of the false teachings that will weaken humanity spiritually, because we are no longer standing in the fullness of our own truth. They are those that will divide humanity politically, again weakening us. They are doing the works of that heaven that is to come, that will be a solid reality. We are no longer, when they come, we are no longer talking in the spirit. So read the Bible. It is the servants of that God that will close off the heavens so that the rain won't fall, to create famine. It is the servants of that kingdom that will create plagues in this world, deliberately create plagues in this world. When that kingdom comes, will we all be happy, happy, happy? That is not what the book of the Revelation says. Will it serve all? That is not what the book of the Revelation says. God will reward his servants. Yeah? Again, there will be a benefit to the few, those that serve him. They will be richly rewarded, and the rest will be in fear. That is what it says in the book of the Revelation. Those that serve me and those that are in fear. It is not for all. It is not beneficial to all life in this world. It is a predator that is weakening its own prey in order to have it easy when they come. Now, if we were to stand in our own truth, if we stop being at war with ourselves, at war within ourselves and at war with each other, if we stop doing that, if we accepted who we are in our fullness, and again saying Satan is not the destroyer. Satan does not bring us negative information in order to destroy, but in order to warn us in service to life, as everything else in this world is, in service to life, to sustain life. Satan is not the destroyer. He is not the devil. So stop being at war within ourselves, but to see our truth, that is according to this world, all shall have life. And see what is coming is not of that thought. It's not of the thought that all shall have life. It is of the thought that the few shall rule over everything and have most of it for themselves, and by that destroying the natural balance and destroying this world. They're already here. You can see it happening in this world already. So we need to accept ourselves as we are, the fullness of ourselves. We need to be something that has self-determination by having all the information that it needs to make a rational choice. And we need to unite. Humanity has to unite, which is a really big ask at the moment. But it is the only thing that will save us. This is our heaven. This is our home. This is our spiritual home. And we need to defend ourselves. We absolutely need to defend ourselves, and we need to stand in unity. And if we in unity, we are in strength, the fullness of ourselves and the fullness of humanity as a whole. Not only do I think that we would have a chance to defend ourselves, I think if we stood in our truth, they wouldn't even come. Because, as I said, it is their way to create a weak prey. And if the prey is not weak, they will not come. I don't think they will. So the only chance we have got to survive is to be in our truth. To be in this world, and of this world, and be the totality of our truth. We are going toward destruction. Yes, and I think there will be a revelation, the truth will be revealed, and it will become a solid reality. And look at the book of the Revelation, it's not going to be good. And we will have been so weakened in spirit and in flesh that we will become an easy prey. So we need to rethink ourselves here. And if the full disclosure is very close and we don't have much time left to rethink ourselves, to become our own truth again and to stand up for ourselves. Anyway, here, I leave it at that for today, and I talk to you again soon. Bye.